Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome back to our Colorado Rockies Out of the Park Baseball 22 series. It is the day before the 2023 offseason officially begins, Thursday, November 9th. I'll give you a look at this playoff tree real quick to show you guys what happened in the playoffs this year. As you can see, the Los Angeles Angels defeated the Atlanta Braves in a classic, a 7-game World Series. Unfortunately, we picked the wrong AL West team to send Charlie Blackmon to. The Seattle Mariners won the play-in game, the wild card game, but then got swept by the Angels in the division series. So now the Los Angeles Angels, if we go to their history, they have won a World Series for the first time since 2002. Mike Trout now has a ring. So congratulations to the Los Angeles Angels. Take a look at who's on this team. Rendon is still there. He had a pretty solid season. There's Mike Trout. Jared Walsh. Lindor is now an Angel. I forgot about that. Shohei Ohtani, Joe Adell. This is a very good team. The rotation really isn't very impressive. I mean, Ohtani, Bassett, Heaney, and Canning. It's really, well, I can't say it's not impressive. Canning has been very good in this save. Yeah, I mean, this team doesn't really jump off the page, but they were able to win the World Series over a pretty solid Atlanta Braves team. Pache, Freeman, Acuna, Albies. Like, this is a good lineup. Even the pitching rotation's pretty solid too. The bullpen's good. These two teams definitely deserved to be in the World Series. Atlanta, though, only went 86-77 on the season, which is a little surprising. They were in the wild card game. They beat the San Diego Padres, who went 97-65. So that was kind of an upset. But this is your playoff tree. That was your World Series. You go back to the playoff coverage, you can see that they really kind of alternated. It was Atlanta, then the Angels, the Braves. The Braves won again, so the Braves are up 3-1, and then the Angels, they battled back, they battled the adversity, and they won the final 3 games of the series to win the title. So that is pretty cool. So if we go to league history, I'd want to kind of see here, and then playoff history. So throughout this save, we've seen the Yankees win the World Series. They swept the Atlanta Braves in 2021. Last year, the Chicago White Sox defeated the St. Louis Cardinals 4-1. And now, of course, this year we saw the Los Angeles Angels defeat the Atlanta Braves. So the Braves have been in the World Series twice so far in this save. They haven't won it yet. And so far, we're still waiting for an American League or a National League team, to win the title in this save. So hopefully we can be the team that bucks that trend in 2024. Probably not, but we can dream. Before I get into the comments, I did want to show something that was kind of cool, something that I really didn't notice. But Tapia actually had the highest batting average in the National League this year, so he won the batting title, which is really cool. You can see that he had led the league with a 330 average and 843 OPS. He was a 3-win player this year, so he's really good. I'm glad we got him signed to that kind of extension here. We're only going to be paying him $4.8 million. If he's going to give me an 843 OPS for $4.8 million, that is a steal. So I'm really excited about that. We'll take a look at who the KBO posted. They posted this third baseman who has some power, but we're not going to look into him. I don't think it's quite worth it. And then I think that's about it. So let's get into some comments here before we get into the actual offseason. So we've got a lot of comments here. The assistant GMs of the YouTube community. 7 trades being realistic. Didn't Billy Bean tell Art Howe I can do this all day after trading a bunch of players in Moneyball? Yes, he did. This is a game. Love the series. I was glad to see. I was really worried that people would not support the things that I did in the last episode because, trading all those players away and the amount of trades that I made you can say that's really unrealistic, admittedly, but I'm glad to see that people were behind it. I was very appreciative of that people do kind of understand that this is, at the end of the day, a game, and it's something that I'm trying to do to make it entertaining. So I appreciate all y'all for that. Decent moves that certainly shouldn't hurt you. I'd be interested. See, I can read. I'd be interested in the ETA of some of your better prospects, which might help you plan off-season moves better. I have Romo in my Seattle save. Started out slow offensively, but has picked it up and has been more than solid behind the plate. Yeah, I'm really excited about Drew Romo. You can see that his batting ratings, you have to keep in mind, for a catcher, these batting ratings are pretty solid. If he can just give me like an OPS somewhere, like if he could just do what he did in AAA, like a 680 to 700-ish OPS, like that'd be great because he's going to be really good defensively. And if he can do better than that OPS that I would like, then that's great. But for the foreseeable future, we have a really cheap, cost-controlled catcher, so we don't have to invest in the catching position for hopefully a long time. He's only 22 years old, Romo is, and the idea is that now especially with Vasquez out of the picture, Romo's our guy for the future. So hopefully he can kind of live up to that hype that I'm bestowing upon him, and hopefully he'll be our catcher of the future. That's the goal. In terms of the ETAs, I think it's actually kind of easier to do it this way through the prospect pipeline. So if you're new to the game and you kind of think like, oh, this is kind of cool, because you don't just, normally you can kind of see the top prospects in baseball, all teams. So if you want to do this, basically you just click the logo up here, MLB, and then go to Prospect Pipeline or whatever league that you're in. You go Prospect Pipeline, and then you're there. Then it shows the top prospects by default, but you can just see your team, for example. So my team's the Rockies, so I just click on the Rockies, and there's my top prospect. Shows their potentials in some different categories or some different, and then it will show the ETA. Sometimes these really aren't super accurate, but I think they're a good base. Like you can see, it does say Jack Leiter. His ETA was 2023, and he did come up in 2023, so that kind of worked out, as did Drew Romo. Rogelio Delgado is the big guy that we're kind of waiting on. At this point, you can see this is his potential. He says his ETA is going to be next year. I could see that happening. If we go to his page, you can see in AA this season, he wasn't super bad. A 4.26 ERA, 104 strikeouts to 61 walks. I'd kind of like the strikeout to walk ratio to be a little better than it is, but this is definitely a guy I can see coming up next season. We're going to put him up in AAA for 2024, and then if he does well there, then that would be great. The big question mark with Delgado right now is his control. You can see the stuff and the movement have improved. The control is really the biggest issue right now. Like, he's not going to be a good starting pitcher, especially for the Rockies, if his control only stays at a 35 grade. Like, we really needed to get up there. So hopefully he gets that bump and he'll continue to develop. But with three really solid pitches and the knuckle curve comes around, it's kind of four. Like, there's a reason why he's the number one prospect. I'm glad that we drafted him. I'm glad that we have him, and hopefully he kind of solves our pitching woes for a while. Brandon Clark, another guy that we have, his ETA is 2025. You remember that we drafted him out of college. He's only 20 years old right now, but he's developed pretty nicely, and he had a really good season in A-ball this past season. He pitched a 3.62 ERA. He was close to a 2-win pitcher, 120 strikeouts, and 109 1/3 innings pitched. He is a fly ball pitcher, so I really, really don't know how that's going to play in cores, but he has the potential to be really, really good arm, which I'm excited about. So we'll bump him up to AA next season, and at only 21 years old, he will be 21 next year. At AA, that'll be a good challenge for Brandon Clark. So he is probably a couple years away. So he's a guy to keep in mind. We talked, Jack Leiter, he will be in our rotation to start 2024 because we gave him the call up this year, and he pitched pretty well. A 3.71 ERA, a 3.52 FIP, 33 strikeouts to 14 walks is not great, but I'm still excited to see what he can do in a full-time role in 2024. He's another guy that's a fly ball pitcher, so I hope that it works out, but we'll see. If it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. The top bat in our system right now is that guy that we signed in international amateur free agency, which is Alex Guinez. He currently has a 50 grade potential. This was the guy that wasn't really going to have a lot of power, but he could play a really, really good outfield, really good center field, which is always good. He had speed. He could hit, not for power, but he could hit. He could avoid strikeouts, take a little, some walks here and there. So he's been in our rookie league the past season. So he is only 18 years old. I don't want to promote him too early. So we're going to be patient with him. His ETA says it's 2025. It might be 2026. It could be later than that. And this is something, if you're new to the game, this guy was a scouting discovery. So you'll have your scouting director. He'll go out and he'll get scouting discoveries. He'll discover guys just randomly. And most of the time, they're not very good. But sometimes they can turn out to be these really, really good players. And it seems like Lupe Arcilla could end up being one of those guys. This was a guy that was scouted the discovery last season. You can see that he has 50 great potential. I think probably DH is going to be his best spot. Maybe he could stick at first. I don't know. But he sees 75 grade power, 65 grade gap power. He can avoid strikeouts at a decent rate. His eye seems like it'll be okay. You can see in rookie ball this year as a 19-year-old, he put up a 719 OPS, 7 home runs, 14 runs batted in. High loyalty, work ethic, low greed. So we'll see if he turns out to be anything. He's only 19 years old too. That's kind of the deal. Like, a lot of our batting prospects are kind of on the younger side that we're waiting on. A lot of our pitching prospects are kind of closer to being called up. Roger Goudier is another guy. This was our second-round pick in 2022. He could be up kind of soon as well, a ground ball power pitcher. He did not have the best season in A-ball this year, but, his his grades seem to be going up. So we'll see if I do want to put him in Double-A next year, and then maybe it says his ETA is 2025. I think that's probably fair. If he can do well against Double-A in 2024, then that would be great. But those are some of the top prospects that I'm looking at this point. So I wanted to just get those out of there. Moving back to some of the comments, I want to get to them. Only wish we'd gotten more pitching. That's always the thing with Colorado. But these are some solid moves. Excited to see Leiter up, and pitching may not have been the problem anyway. I haven't done cores this year, but maybe you have to blow people away on offense because pitching is capped. Yeah, we'll see. We're still relatively early in the save, so we'll see how that stuff kind of plays out. Wow, the DeGrom news is sad. Oh, yep. So if you missed last episode, he suffered a partially torn UCL, so he will be out for another 7 to 8 months. So I am glad that I only signed him to that 2-year contract. So 2024 will probably be his final year with the Colorado Rockies. Absolutely love the trades. The infield looks set now, at least for the next few years, assuming Devers resigns. Having Madrigal and Reyes under arbitration is huge, and the Robles deal seems like it could be a bargain. Looking at the upcoming free agency, there seems to be many good pitching options for both the rotation and the bullpen. I think Burns, Leiter, and Clevenger are still a very strong top of the rotation, but the staff seems to keep running into the problem that the guys that would be good innings eaters elsewhere end up getting destroyed in cores. I definitely think that if the money is there, signing an elite guy like Diaz to pair with Jordan Hicks could be really good. The middle relief guys seem to be developing well, and Fox in particular looks great. The bullpen seems like it has potential to be really good again. Also, maybe Ohtani could fill a need both in the rotation and the outfield. First time commenting, love the series. Thank you. Kind of interested to see how Gallo is doing. I really like the Reyes, Robles, and Madrigal additions. Will make the lineup much better. Pitching is going to be tough, especially with DeGrom out. Love the series. Keep it up. So you want to see how Gallo is doing, so let's do that. Let's search Joey Gallo. Joey Pico de Gallo Gallo. So this year with Houston, he did about the same as he did with us. He had an 811 OPS with us in 2022. He had an 831 OPS this season for the Houston Astros. He had 37 home runs with them. He had 36 with us. He had more runs batted in with us, less with the Astros. He walked a little less with the Astros. He struck out about the same amount. He had a 123 WRC plus. He was a 4-win player. So that's how he's looking so far. They've signed him through 2029 at $24.4 million a year. So it seems like he had a pretty solid debut season with the Houston Astros. His third team in 3 seasons. We'll see if he continues to do well in Houston or if he falls off. I'll be rooting for him from afar. Okay, take a look at Dylan Cruz if he is in the sim. Well, certainly. So if I search Dylan Cruz, and there he is. So he is currently in the Seattle system. 40 grade potential right now, according to OSA. My head scout also thinks he's 40 grade. It seems like both don't think his OSA kind of likes his hit tool a little more than my head scout. Gap power seems like it could be good. Seems like he could have some solid home run power, solid eye. Okay, avoiding strikeouts, some speed in there. It could be pretty solid at the corner outfield spot. Low loyalty, low work ethic. So we'll see here. In college, he did well, and then this season in rookie ball, he put up 675 OPS, but it was a really small sample size. So, yeah, we'll see how he does going forward. He was a 4th-round pick for them this year. Love the Franwell pickup, Dwight from The Office. Always nice to see in the comments section. So those were the comments. So I'm going to just jump ahead here to the offseason. I'll do what we normally do, take a look at arbitration, upcoming free agents, stuff like that, award winners, and we will go from there. All right, so it is officially the start of the offseason. The season is over. Your score this year is 157. This is a very poor score, Frank. Come on, you can do better. At least I'm glad to see we didn't get fired. So review of season goals. Tough year to be a Rockies fan. Yep, that's basically every year. You may be happy with the 69-93 record, but the fans sure won't be. Once again, don't know why you think I'm content being bad. I'm sorry, but I really don't see the upgrade I asked for you for at catcher. I'd appreciate a better effort next time I ask things of you, whatever. We got Drew Roma. I don't know if you saw him. I told you that stolen bases was important to shore up, and I'm thrilled that you accomplished that. Glad to see we ended up second this year. Well done. Thank you. It's great to see that you know how to give a compliment. I'm disappointed that you decided against signing Corey Knebel to an extension. Did I not make it clear this was more than a simple suggestion? No, you didn't. The numbers are definitely definitely up from 2022, but still not quite to my targets. Really, the best way to get fans to the game is to win games. Wow, look at that. Genius. I gave you a goal in 2021 of making the playoffs in a few seasons. My deadline's not up, still a few years away. However, I'm not sure I feel too confident right now. All right, give me a break, dude. Come on. I'm worried with your performance and accomplishing the goals I've given you. I feel similarly about the handling of your team's on-field and front office management. Me and this guy are going to have some issues. So he wants us to play 500 ball in 2024, upgrade a catcher, acquire a nationally popular player, increase attendance to 44.8, bring more of your drafted players to the team, which I think we should be able to do. Keep building your team up in order to reach the playoffs in the next 3 seasons. Okay. I'll check in again with you next season. That's unfortunate. New budget. It seems like our budget went down, so that's not good. It seems like Tyler Lyons is trying to get a PhD, so good for him. Top 100 prospect list. Delgado is still number 1, and this is the rest of the top 10. So let's see. Alex Cora was fired as the manager of the Boston Red Sox. Ross Atkins, the Blue Jays GM, was let go. Dave Martinez was let go by the Nationals. David Ross is gone as the manager of the Cubs. Craig Counsell is gone out of Milwaukee, along with their GM, David Stern. So Milwaukee really shaking things up this year. Otherwise, there's just basically managers and a GM. So there are your firings for the year. So salary arbitration. Let's go to this first. So these are our arbitration-eligible players. We'll take a look at how Jalen Beeks did with us, and he was not very good at all. So we are not going to bring him back. I just needed someone to fill in for Lance McCullers. And I was kind of looking for a lefty. So we're not going to bring back Jalen Beeks. We're not going to bring back Peter Lambert. He doesn't fit into our long-term plans. How did Cody Reid do with Colorado? Cody Reid did not do very well, so we're going to let Cody Reid go. Once again, that was just a way of trying to get another lefty into the bullpen. Didn't work out. It's okay. Dom Nunez, I'd like to think, well, I mean, he's pretty, for a backup catcher, I think that he'd be a pretty cheap option. I mean, so if he wants to come back, we'll bring him back for cheap. So we'll just give him his arbitration estimate. I don't care. $850,000 for a backup catcher. It's fine. So we'll get Dom Nunez back. Withdraw that offer. Nico Goodrum, we're going to let walk. He was not the bench player that I was looking for. Nick Madrigal, of course, we're going to bring back. We're going to offer him an extension. So we will just give him, he only wants a 1-year deal. So we'll try to get in at like 4.8. We'll see if he does that. Okay, so we'll get Madrigal back. So that's done. Dylan Moore, he was just, I was not going to bring him back. Well, would he be fine being a bench player? He just wants to play in the majors. I don't know. We'll let him go. If we want to sign him as a bench player later, that's fine. We're going to let Caleb Cowart go. We're going to let Sam Hilliard go. And we're going to bring back Reyes. We'll see. He only wants a 1-year deal. We're not going to give you 7. Would you take like 750 maybe? Okay, so we'll get Franimal back. So withdraw that offer. We're not going to give a qualifying offer to Anthony Bass. We'll see what Jordan Hicks is looking for in a contract extension. And it seems like we don't have the money for extending guys here. So we're going to let him hit free agency because I think this is a little much. I mean, I don't know if he would take maybe like $6 million here and then like 7.5 there. Is that enough zeros? I think it is. And then maybe like 9. Would you do something like that maybe? Oh, okay. My projected, that's right. He cut the budget. Right. Okay. That's good. So let me go to my front office real quick then and see what the deal is here. The team focus has now shifted to rebuilding. We have no money for free agents, no money for extensions. Okay, cool. That's good. I'm happy about that. Well, that is not super great. So that if we don't have any money, that means that we can't re-sign Devers. So if I try to offer him, so we need to clear some money to sign. Okay, so we got okay. Well, I don't really know what I'm gonna do. We need to we gotta get Devers back. We need to get Devers back. So I'm staring at this salary screen right now. I'm trying to think what we could do to get some money because we kind of need some money here, and I don't know where that's going to come from. So So I've simulated ahead a little bit further past the award signing. So now we have $5 million for free agents available, which is good. I don't know what I'm going to do to get enough money to get Devers back. So I mean, let me go through the awards first, and then we can move forward. So Gold Gloves in the National League: Kyle Wright, JT Realmuto, Eric Hosmer, Ronnie Mauricio, Nolan Arenado, Missy Powell, Jose Iglesias, Adam Hazley, Christian Pache, and Mookie Betts. In the American, in the American League, we got Javier, Carson Kelly, Vlad Guerrero Jr., Nate Allen, Matt Chapman, Francisco Lindor, Spencer Torkelson, Byron Buxton, and Aaron Judge. In the American League, the relief pitcher of the year was Zach Birdie, and in the National League, it was Ken Giles. So we did not get anybody there. And then these are some minor league free agents that we re-signed. Silver Sluggers in the American League: Salvador Perez, Vlad Guerrero Jr., Jose Altuve. There's Wander Franco, Tim Anderson, Kyle Tucker, Mike Trout, Joey Gallo won a Silver Slugger with Houston this year, and Julio Rodriguez. In the National League, Will Smith, Alec Boehm, who's now playing first base. I guess that makes sense since Reese isn't there. Gavin Lux, Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis Jr., Juan Soto, Cody Bellinger, Ronald Acuna Jr., and Jeff McNeil. Top rookie in the National League this year was Alfonso Rivas, the Cubs left fielder. Mason Fox got 1 vote, so that's good. And then the American League top rookie was Jarren Duran, who is now with the Kansas City Royals. And, okay. The top manager in the American League was Luke Carlin of the Angels, and then Jace Tingler for the Padres won the National League. AL Cy Young Award winner is Lucas Giolito. I think, what is that, his second straight year winning this award? Yes, it is. And, he's won the award every single year in this save. Okay, so he's won 3 times in a row. And then in the National League, it was Mackenzie Gore, and we did not get anybody there that got votes. American League MVP this year, no surprise. And then National League, also no surprise. So now I got to figure out how to get some money. Can I, take out a loan? Is that something I can do in this game? All right, so by releasing players that I wasn't going to re-sign, we now have $14 million available for free agents and $8 million for extensions, which is a little better. However, if we still try to re-sign Devers, if we go to contract extension, we still don't quite have the money, and I don't want to backload the amount that I would need to just so I can get this contract in. So if we take a look at the salaries, where do I want to go? Front office and salaries. I can't imagine you would have any value whatsoever. Yeah, it would just be getting bad contracts back, which is not what we need. How is Kingery so far? He has been... last year, he was kind of like a Tommy Edman light, so I don't think that's what we need, especially not for that contract. Ugh, yuck. Okay. So what are we going to do? We're not going to trade Clevenger. No, we're not going to trade Mondesi. I don't want to trade Hoskins, but maybe we can get a cheaper first baseman somehow, somewhere. Okay, maybe we trade Hoskins. Let's see if he has any value. And he doesn't. So, let's see. We were not going to trade Corbin Burns or Robles. We're not going to get rid of Tapia. We're not going to get rid of Reyes or Madrigal. So where are we going to get the money from? That is an excellent question. All right, well, here are the free agents that have filed. The international guys, we'll see if there's anybody here. As always, here's this pitcher that is okay. He wants $8 million. Is there anybody really, really good? Another starting pitcher. It's kind of the same as the other guy. Catchers, we don't really need a catcher. First baseman, no. So there's not really anybody there. Top free agents, Manny Machado has hit the free agent market. Shohei Ohtani has hit the free agent market. So let's take a look here. Let's look at all the free agents that are available. We want all players, and then okay. So what do we got here? Noah Syndergaard has hit free agency again. Let's see how he did with the Yankees. His first year at the Yankees, yeah, he did pretty solid. Last year was not very good. So I guess I'm glad we didn't sign him to that contract. He did opt out, basically. Okay, wait a minute. Did that not just say... Am I going crazy? It says Manny Machado, but he's not... Did I click the wrong thing in the free agency? All players. Where is... I mean, I'm not going to sign Manny Machado, but where is Manny Machado? Oh, okay. Ryan's an idiot. He had a custom filter in, so we don't want to do that. So we want to clear the filter. Oh, and there's everybody else. Okay, that's cool. Okay, Ryan's a stupid person. Don't listen to Ryan. Okay. So these are who we actually have available here. So we now have 16 million for free agents, 26 million for extensions. Not that it does anything for us. Can we re-sign you, please? No. Would Machado be any cheaper? No. Okay. Well, does Reese Hoskins have any trade value now that the salaries have moved up a year? Now he only has a 3-year deal. No, not an extension. No, sorry, pal. We don't want to extend you. We want to trade you. We want to get you out of here. Nobody's interested, huh? Does anybody have a veteran that's like on a 1-year deal? No. How are we going to free up money, guys? All right. So I have found a way to get some money, and I say it like that. I found a way to get money. I made a trade, and we got rid of a lot of money, so now we have the money that we need to make the improvements that we need to make this team better, in my opinion. So we made a trade with the New York Yankees because I needed to find a team that could take money in, but also had pieces that still had a lot of team control that weren't making a lot of money to get back. So, with that being said, the trade that I made with the New York Yankees was a big, huge blockbuster of a deal. And in this trade, we sent out Corbin Burns, Roger Gutierrez, Michael Toglia, Jacob deGrom, and Bo Bonds. And in return, we got Clark Schmidt and Michael King. So the big thing, obviously, we traded away the guy that we signed to a free agent contract. The reason I did this is because the Yankees can afford to wait on a guy like deGrom. They still have money to go out and sign pitchers this offseason, but they can still wait. They have Garrett Cole. They have Luis Severino. They have a really good lineup. They have a great bullpen. This is a team that can wait for deGrom to come back in the summer, and then they'll be set to go. I'm not in a position. I don't have the luxury to wait for this guy to return in the final year of his contract. I need to win now because I don't want to make my owner any more upset than he already is. So that was my reasoning for that. It's a shame that it didn't really fully work out in Colorado. I mean, he had a heck of a season through 25 games. He was a 4-win pitcher. He probably would have finished close to 5 wins, but unfortunately, the injury, if he doesn't get injured, we're not trading deGrom. But because he did get injured, that's just money that's sitting on my books that I can't use. So the Yankees were interested in him. So we traded him. Then we also traded, unfortunately, Corbin Burns. And the reason I traded for Corbin Burns was in part because of the contract that I signed for him that I thought was team friendly. But it's just, for me, it was a little bit risky because his half season with us in 2021 was not good. His 2023 season was not spectacular, especially for the money that we were paying him. If I'm paying him $12 million, I really need him to do a little better than he did. I get that he's pitching some games in Coors, but his strikeouts were down drastically, which was kind of an issue for me. He walked a lot more guys, so I wanted to just get the value while I could, while he still had some value. And so we traded Corbin Burns, and we also traded away a couple prospects, Roger Gutierrez, who was in our top 10, and Michael Toglia, and then Bo Bonds. I know somebody commented that they are part of the Bo Bonds fan club. I'm sorry if you're watching. I apologize. And in return, we get 2 pitchers, both righties, unfortunately. But we got 2 pitchers who have done pretty well so far in this save. You can see that Clark Schmidt last year, this is what I'm talking about. Like, he put up a 2-win season, but he's only making $570,000. So, for comparable production, I think that's what we're going to get. He's a ground ball pitcher who sits 95 to 97, which is what we're looking for. High adaptability, high work ethic. He's a hard worker. So I'm excited to see what Clark Schmidt can do as a member of the Colorado Rockies. And we also got Michael King, who was a 3-win pitcher last year. He put up a 3.66 earned run average, a 4.09 FIP. He struck out 158 batters, 35 walks. He's not anything special. Just it's 93.95, but he's a cheap pitcher that I think can give us decent results. So that was that. So right now our rotation we'll definitely have Schmidt, Leiter, and King. I'm not against keeping Feltner in the rotation because he did start off pretty well and he had a pretty 4.10 FIP. But if there's somebody better out there, I definitely bring him in. But the reason I did this trade is because now if you take a look at it, we have $47 million for free agents, and our books are kind of open up a little bit more long-term now, especially with the Corbin Burns thing. So now we have money to sign free agents. So if we go to free agents, and this is, I don't want all pitchers, I just want all players. Now we should be able to bring back Devers to anchor third base for us, and then we should also have money left over to get some pitching help and some bench help. So now I'm going to do what I thought I was going to do when I started this video about an hour ago, and that is tackle this offseason and make this Rockies team the best Rockies team that it can be. Okay, it is Monday, December 18th, 2023. We have made some signings. We've made a trade. And this is what your Rockies currently look like as the 2023 calendar year comes to an end. So we'll start in the lineup. And we did re-sign Rafael Devers to a big deal. It is a 6-year deal worth $162.66 million. And I put in a player opt-out there after the 3rd season. So it's not entirely backloaded, but this is what it was going to take to keep Rafael in Colorado, and I think for a guy like this, who is going to give us a lot of power, he's going to hit really well, especially playing half of his games in cores. He's going to give us pretty solid defense at the third base position. The contract was worth it to me, and that was not the only addition to the lineup we made, though. We also did sign Shohei Ohtani, so this was kind of a 2-part thing. So Ohtani will be DHing for us. His defensive ratings are basically the same as Franmil Reyes. His arm is a little better, but I don't want to overextend him, so he will be DHing on days he doesn't pitch. Then Franmil Reyes will slide over to right field. So Shohei Ohtani, he did not want a lot of money. You could see that this was the contract that we were able to lock him up for. We also gave him a player opt-out after the 2nd season, after 2025. So we threw him a no-trade clause in there too, but I don't think that'll be much of an issue because his team list is pretty substantial. So it was a 4-year deal, $81.5 million. So we were able to get Shohei, a guy that sits 100+ for his velocity. He's neutral for ground ball and fly ball. He is a normal pitcher, but I'm still confident in his abilities. And of course, we'll take a look here so you can see batting-wise, last year, he had 315 plate appearances. He hit to an 824 OPS, 14 home runs, and 44 runs batted in. And then pitching-wise, he pitched to a 3.47 earned run average, a 3.74 FIP, 194 strikeouts in 166 innings. So I'm very excited to see what he can do. I've never had Shohei in any save that I've done, I don't think. So I'm excited to see what he can do. I'm excited to finally have him. So this is our lineup now. I think it is much improved from what it was coming into 2023. We have Victor Robles at the top of the lineup. I mean, this could all change before the start of the season, but in fact, I might actually switch Robles and probably like Mondesi, I think is probably a good thing to do. That's probably what I'll do. So we have Mondesi, Madrigal, Devers, Reyes, Ohtani, Robles, Tapia, Hoskins, and Drew Romo. You can see that we still need bench guys. I'm going to wait until the preseason officially starts and see, number one, if our owner gives us a little more money to work with, but number two, that's where you can kind of get guys for cheap. So that's going to be where I'm going to get the bench guys. The pitching staff, along with Ohtani, we did make another addition. This was a bullpen addition because he was on the trading block. We acquired Diego Castillo from the Tampa Bay Rays, and in return, we gave him Justin Topa and one of our solid prospects, Vladimir Restituyo. And the reason I did this, he is making $4 million, but for a guy like this, I don't think that's too much. I know he received Reliever of the Year votes, a 2.38 ERA last season, a 3.79 FIP, 65 strikeouts, and 56 2/3 innings. So he's going to slide in as our closer. He was a cheaper alternative to be a closer compared to the guys on the free agent market. We did also sign Jake Diekmann to be just another lefty in the bullpen. Last year, he was okay in very, very limited time. He only appeared in 25 games, but he pitched to a 4.32 ERA, 4.19 FIP, 22 strikeouts to 3 walks. He is a ground ball pitcher, so he is going to be one of our lefties in the bullpen. You can see extremely hard worker, has a good head on his shoulders, popular in the clubhouse, high loyalty, work ethic, intelligence, low greed. So that is slaying. So this is our bullpen now. We still don't have any lefties in the starting rotation, but we do have a couple lefties now in the bullpen going into this year, which is something we didn't have last year. So we have Diego Castillo slide to be our closer, Gilbreth and Doyle as some setup guys, Diekmann, Fox, Bird, and Conine as middle relief guys. Conine can also pitch in long relief, and we're going to keep Feltner up, but we're not going to have him in the rotation to start the season. We're going to just put him as long relief in the bullpen. And so our rotation, I completely forgot about Clevenger the last time I cut out, but we have Clev, Shohei Ohtani, Clark Schmidt, Jack Leiter, and Michael King, and then went through the lineup. I think that's where I'm going to end this episode. So in the next episode, we will start off the season. I'll show you guys the bench bats that I'll sign in the preseason. But I think that our owner has to be pretty happy. I mean, manager's office, he wanted us to upgrade a catcher. I think this season Drew Romo will be a good upgrade and acquire a nationally popular player. We acquired Shohei Ohtani, so he's got to be pretty happy about that. We'll get the attendance up. We'll probably end up calling up a couple guys at some point in 2024. And, we'll see. Hopefully we can play around 500 baseball because if we go to our history index, it was disappointing, certainly, going from 53 and 109 to 84 and 78, and then back to 69 and 93. So hopefully these moves that we made will help us out. I think the power in the lineup will definitely be a lot more helpful. I mean, now we have Reyes, who can hit 30, maybe even 40 home runs. We have Devers, who can hit 30 home runs. Shohei Ohtani can, hit somewhere between 15 and maybe he can get lucky getting to 20, playing some of his games in cores. We have Reese Hoskins, who I think can give us 20. Adalberto Mondesi could definitely give us 20. So now we actually have some power in this lineup. We have guys that can get on base. It's pretty diverse in terms of switch hitters, right-handed hitters, left-handed hitters, so it would be tough for a bullpen to come in and shut it down. The rotation, it would be nice to have a lefty. And I wouldn't like to. I'd like to have somebody a little better than Clevenger as my staff ace, but still Clevenger, Ohtani, Schmidt, Leiter, and King. That's not so much a bad rotation in my opinion. I think that they could get stuff done for us. And then the bullpen, I think it'll come back, especially with the addition of Castillo. I mean, we have some pretty reliable options here: Castillo, Doyle, Gilbreth, Mason Fox, as I said, did really well. I think Diekmann will do well in a limited role. And then at that point, it's just, can we get good performances out of guys like Jake Burr? I mean, we can honestly, we'll probably replace Jake Burr. This is probably another guy that we're going to look to replace by the time the preseason starts, and we'll get like a cheap reliever out there, a veteran reliever that wants to be here. So Jake Burr, I don't think will be in the bullpen, but I think we should. I say this, if you watch these series enough, you'll see that every year I go into the year with a lot of optimism. But I really hope it's not misplaced this season. I am a fan of this lineup and the pitching staff, so hopefully it does go well. Team chemistry-wise, we don't have any spark plugs or pranksters, so maybe we try to get some bench guys to do that. And then in terms of the coaching staff, you can see that we are all the way at the top. We are ecstatic. We're not having any issues with anybody, so going into next year, I think that'll be a huge thing too. I mean, I guess going into 2023, our coaching staff was feuding, and I just didn't know about it. So hopefully with a well-oiled, well-working coaching staff and an improved roster, we should be able to play around 500 baseball. So thank you all for watching. We're not going to do an episode tomorrow because I'm in the process of redesigning the Best Available Player website, bestaavailableplayer.com. So that's going to be kind of a multi-day process, but we'll be back next week to see how your Colorado Rockies start in 2024. So once again, thank you for watching, guys. Of course, always feel free to leave your comments below how you're feeling about the team. And I'll catch you guys again next week. Enjoy your Thursday, enjoy your Friday, enjoy your weekend. I'll catch you guys again next week.